Man, family, I'm standing out here in this mist. It's like coming down. It's not really raining. It's just like misting a lot. I have my phone covered up. Hopefully it won't get wet. Um, but it's beautiful out here. You know what I mean? It's beautiful out here. Just want to come out here and just, man. Breathing that good air. Give you guys a couple minutes for you guys to get in. I don't wear a watch, so I don't know what time it is. I think it's time to get started, but we're going to go in today, family. We're going to go in. We're going to go in. We're going to have a real heart-to-heart today. Man, it's going to be kind of a heavy topic, so just bear with me. But it's something that we need to have. It's something that we need to have. We need to have this conversation. It's crazy because my sister has a dog. That dog don't really like me. I don't think it like me. You know what I mean? It's always yakking, you know, little mutt. I don't even know what kind of dog it is. And but every time it thunders, every time it lightens and stuff like that, or it gets scared, it comes running over close to where I'm at. You know what I mean? And it's like, you don't even like me. Why are you running over here to me? Why are you trying to hide behind me? I ain't gonna protect you. You know what I mean? And it's every time it gets scared, it runs over to where I'm at, whether I'm sitting on the couch or whatever, it runs to where I'm at. It gets behind the couch, whatever. And that's what we're gonna talk about today. Why are you hiding? What's up, Michelle? Why are you hiding? You know, and the trip is so many of us don't even realize that we're in hiding. You know, we hide for different reasons. We hide for different reasons. What's up, Miss Lady Sade? Hey, I'm not going to call out everybody's name, okay? So, you know, please don't get offended because I don't shout you out. You know what I mean? It's starting to sprinkle out here, but I want to be out here in nature and have this conversation with you guys, okay? And so, but why are you hiding? You know, and that's what we're talking about today, hiding. Because the truth be told, the great majority of us are in hiding for some reason. We're in hiding for some reason. And I understand that sometimes God will hide you. And what I mean by that, sometimes God will put you in hiding, and he has you in hiding to preserve you. He has you in hiding to keep you protected. He has you in hiding to, man, because he's working on some stuff. You know what I mean? He's preparing a way for you. And so while he has you in hiding, now I've talked about this before, you know, from caterpillar to butterfly, you know, we go into this cocoon stage, and that cocoon stage is God's hiding place for you. You know what I mean? Stay with me. We're going to go somewhere. And so often it's that isolation place where it's all dark and you're frustrated because you don't see what's going on. You don't understand why you're in this place. You don't understand why it seems like ain't nothing going for you. You don't understand why you're in this place where it's like, dang, ain't nothing happening for me. Man, I'm not growing. My finances ain't changing. This ain't working. This, everywhere I look at, it's like the doors are being closed. Everywhere I look at, it's just darkness. It's just complete darkness, and nothing's happening for you. Understand, don't trip out. And that's what so many of us do. We wig out at that point. Man, it's isolation. Why? Because God is preserving you. God is preparing you. But not only is he preparing you, he's preparing something for you. But if he had let you out of that cocoon stage, if he had let you out of that isolation stage, man, you'd have blew it. You would have screwed it up. You would have screwed up what he has prepared for you because you wasn't ready for it. And so he has to take you and put you in this little place all by yourself. He has to take you and completely isolate you from everybody around you and hide you in this dark space to where you can't be caught up in anybody else's conversation. You can't be caught up in the drama and all the other hell that's going on around you. Okay? And so he cuts everybody off. People cut you off. So you're isolated, you're in hiding. But there's a major difference from being in hiding when God has you in hiding, and you've been in hiding because of your shame. You're in hiding because of your fear. You're in hiding because the embarrassing fact of all that you've gone through. I've talked to so many young women, so many guys too, that man, they've called me and they want to talk about some stuff. And so they're talking to me because, man, they don't really know me. You know what I mean? They see what's going, they see the videos and stuff, but that's all they know. And so they get on the phone and they're asking me, how do I help them with their shame? How can I help them with their issues of some of the things that they've done as kids? And what am I talking about? And I say this all the time: hurt people hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. And so often, so many people have been hurt. They've been abused sexually as little kids. And so what these kids do, they turn around and they abuse other little kids. They turn around and quote unquote experiment sex and body parts and all this other stuff with other little kids. And so now they're a little older. Now they're carrying the shame of this. And they don't know how to let it go. They don't know how to stop being embarrassed by that. They don't know how to push past that. It's that shame. It's that fear of, man, what if people find out? How are people going to see me if they know this part about me? Everybody's laughing, everybody's joking, everybody thinks I'm cool, everybody thinks this, but I carry this secret. And this secret is, man, I did some stuff that, man, I could get in trouble for. I did some stuff that I'm not proud of. I did some stuff that caused other people trauma and drama. I did some stuff that I shouldn't have done. How do I let that go? Without getting in trouble. How do I let that go? Without being embarrassed more and without bringing shame. More shame than what I'm already carrying. Trip. And I told you guys plenty of times, man, and when I was 6 years old, I was molested twice. And I carried that shame. I carried that shame. I carried that trauma. And so what I did was, as I grew a little older, man, I saw people laughing and I saw them looking in my direction. And I had this fear that they were laughing at me. They didn't know me as a little kid. They couldn't have known what I've gone through. But my ego had me tripping. My ego had me thinking that they knew my secret of being molested. And so they were looking at me and laughing at me. They were questioning my manhood. These people didn't know me from Adam, didn't know anything about me, but my ego had me convinced that they were laughing at me. They were talking about me. And so I would always walk up to them. Again, I had anger issues. And so I would walk up to them, you know, all cool, like, what's up, man? You know, man, what's so funny, you know? As soon as they opened their mouth, it was, pow! I'm hitting them dead in their grill. Why? Because I was angry. I was embarrassed. I was humiliated. And these people didn't even know me. These people had no clue of why I was so angry, why I was responding the way that I was. All they knew is, man, this boy's crazy. This boy got the devil in him. This boy's tripping. Why he tripping so much? Why he do stupid stuff like that? Because of my shame. I didn't want nobody knowing that I had been molested. And so when I saw people looking in my direction and smiling, man, to me, they were questioning my manhood. And so I slept with all these women. Why? Because I was in hiding. What am I talking about? Man, I slept with all these women because I had been molested by guys. And so I'm trying to prove that I'm not gay. But nobody was questioning my manhood. Nobody was asking me, had I been molested? They just saw me as this real muscular guy with these tattoos that they wanted to have sex with. That's all they saw. But to me, in my mind, my ego had me convinced, man, they're questioning your manhood. Why? Because of my shame. My shame. And for the longest time, I would never smile. I would never smile in public with my daughters and stuff. I never smiled when they're young on camera. They would always take pictures, and I'm dead serious on all the photos with my kids when they were real young. Never smiling. And my daughters would always get mad. Dad, how come you don't smile? Dad, and they would get pissed because I didn't smile. And my mentality was, ain't shit funny. Ain't nothing worth smiling about. What the hell do I got to be happy for? Because I hadn't dealt with my issue of being molested completely. The shame was still there. And because the shame was there, man, it was seen in my face. So I wouldn't smile. Why? Because the smile and to be out in public laughing made you look as though you was weak. It made you look as though you were a sucker. It made you look as though you were a sap. You were a target. You were a mark. So the image always had to be hard. Because the little boy inside was traumatized. The little boy inside was terrified of people knowing my secret. Why are you hiding? Why are you hiding? It's a trip because you don't have to be molested and to have gone through something like that to be scared. As little kids, some of us, we were scared of the dark. I was never scared of the dark. But other kids I knew were scared of the dark. And they would hide up under the bed. Some kids, they would hide up under the covers. Some people have to sleep with lights on. Why? Because they're scared. And so the light is hiding them. Let me say it again. You're hiding from your fear of the darkness by having the light on. And so although you're in the light, you're still hiding. What is it that you're scared of? What is it that you're hiding from? And see, so many of us and so many people have started slamming dope and smoking and drinking and doing all this other stuff. Why? To hide. To hide from the pain that they were carrying. Whatever it was, they couldn't handle it. And so, man, my escape is slamming this dope. My escape is throwing back this alcohol. My escape is staying high. What are you hiding from? What are you hiding from? Why do you stay in that toxic relationship and you know it ain't no good? I didn't realize until my wife passed away in 2015 that I had a fear of being alone. And so I stayed in toxic relationships. Why? Because being in a toxic relationship was better than being alone. Because at least being in a toxic relationship, at least I knew that somebody wanted me. At least I knew that somebody was halfway interested in me. Even if we was fighting all the time, it was better than being alone. It was better than feeling like, man, don't nobody want me. And so I hid from that fear of being alone in a relationship. In a lot of relationships. I didn't want to be in that relationship. Didn't like that person. Didn't like that person at all. But it was better than being alone. And I didn't want to deal with my fear of being alone. And so I hid in a relationship. What are you hiding from? See, I remember being in church as a young man and going to church and like, man, I'm saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled, water baptized. Man, I was ordained an evangelist and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And I'm being real. I was ordained, all that stuff. But I had all these unresolved issues. And it's not as though my issues disqualified me for that ordination and all that other stuff. But the reality is I was in church hiding from my issues. I was in church shouting and speaking in tongues and falling out in the spirit and laying hands on people, doing all that stuff, hiding from my issues, hiding from the pain within me, hiding from the loneliness within me, hiding from the emptiness within me. What are you hiding from? What are you hiding from? You can be in church all you want to and still be hiding. And you're not hiding because God is hiding you. You're hiding because you don't want to deal with your issues. And so a lot of people in church hide and talk about, well, I'm just a work in progress. God's working on me. Okay, everybody alive is a work in progress. Everybody alive is a work in progress. If you're not actively dealing and facing your issues, you're hiding from them. I don't care what you say. I don't care how many scriptures you quote. If you're not actively participating in dealing with and healing from your issues, you're hiding from them. You can speak in tongues all you want. You can quote all the scriptures you want. You can sit there, pray, fast, speak in tongues, do all that. If you're not actively dealing with and facing your issues, you're hiding. You're hiding. I don't care how spiritual you want to act. And I know a lot of people in the spiritual movement now. Man, I love crystals. I have a bunch of them. I love crystals. But I know a lot of people in the spiritual movement, in the spiritual thing. Man, as far as rocky crystals, burning sage, you know what I mean? The tarot cards, oracle cards, charms, all this other stuff, right? Man, and they got all this stuff. And they talk all this stuff, but they ain't dealing with their shit. Oh, this is Rose Talk. This is Grown Folk Channel right here. We're going in today. We're going in. They talk all this other stuff. They took all this growth and development, and they're terrified and hiding from their loneliness. And they won't deal with their real issues. I know all these people in the spiritual movement and in religion and all this other stuff talk about love and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, and they're lonely and they're frustrated because they ain't got nobody. And they don't want to do the work and understand why they don't have anybody. And they all sit there talking, I'm waiting on my soulmate. I'm waiting on my twin flame to come back. And we talk all this stupid shit, and we ain't really dealing with the issue. And the issue is not these people. The issue, it's us. It's us. It's us. I've said this before. Everything, it's about you. It's always about you. It's never about somebody else. It's always about your growth and development. It's always about your relationship with God. It's always about whether or not you're in alignment with God for the greater good of your life. What are you hiding from? Some people, they're terrified of success. So they don't want to do great things because they're terrified. They're scared of the attention. They're scared that they might accomplish what they tried to do, so they don't do shit at all. Some people are terrified of failure. And so they don't do anything at all. Sit on their ass and just wait for stuff to happen because they're scared of failing. What are you hiding from? What are you hiding from? Some guys won't even talk to this woman that they're attracted to, that they really like and that they're really feeling and want to do. Why? Because they're scared she's going to reject them. What are you hiding from? What are you hiding from? See, we could talk all this stuff of what we want to accomplish in life. We could talk all this stuff. You could write all these things down on what you want to do and what you want to be in life. and who you want in your life, where you want to live, how much money you want, and all this other stuff. You can write all that stuff down, but if you don't ever understand why you're in hiding, even the fact that you are in hiding, you're not going to accomplish all those things. You can have all the flow charts you want. You can do all that stuff. You can have all the manifesting cards all over the place you want. You have to understand who you are. You have to understand, why don't I have this already? What is it about me that's stopping me, that's keeping me from getting this? And again, understand that God hides us sometimes. And so often we'll confuse our issues. We'll confuse the fact that we're hiding ourselves. And we'll get that twisted with God hiding us. And we always want to think, oh, it's God doing it. Oh, it's God doing it. Oh, it's God doing it because I'm better than what this and I'm da-da-da-da. And we think we're so spiritual. We think we're so woke. And so we always want to put it off on God. I'm praying and God knows my heart's desire and God knows my prayers and I'm just waiting for him to do this. And we've been waiting for 40 years, waiting for 50 years, and we haven't grown up. And we haven't dealt with our issues. Because we always want to blame God for this. And the trip is, sometimes God doesn't. The trip is, sometimes God do take people out of your life. God does make stuff fall apart for you sometimes. He does that. From time to time, he does. Why? Because he knows that those people, that situation is going to be more devastating for your ultimate growth and development than you having them. We always talk about, man, God won't put more on you than you can handle. And we always use that as something negative. Oh, God won't put cancer on me because I can't handle cancer. Oh, God won't put me in this situation because I can't handle that. Man, God won't bless you because he knows you're not ready to handle it. God won't give you God won't give you your heart's desires because he knows you're not mature enough and emotional enough to handle it. Because you refuse to grow up. You refuse to do the work. You want to sit there like an entitled, spoiled, little selfish kid with your hands out, with a bell in another hand. And every time you ring the bell, you expect God to show up. And the trip is, so many of us, I love the movie Aladdin, the cartoon Aladdin. And so many of us, that's how we treat God. That's how we treat the universe. That's how we treat the Most High. Like it's Aladdin. Like it's a genie in a lamp. I'm gonna rub this lamp. Here's my 3 wishes. I don't need you no more. Take your ass back in the lamp and put the lamp up on the shelf. I'll see you when I see you. When I want you again, I'll pull you out, rub the lamp, and I want my 3 wishes. We have no relationship with them whatsoever. We don't commune with them whatsoever. We don't get in alignment with them whatsoever. But we want to bark out our 3 wishes and then get pissed off because we don't get our wishes. Why are you in hiding? What are you hiding from? Some of us, it's humid out here. I got this hoodie on, but I'm sweating. Some of us, we're hiding from ourselves. Some of us, we're hiding from ourselves. People have spoken to our lives, good or bad. And we don't want those things to happen. We're scared that those things aren't going to happen. And so we go in hiding mode. It's a trip. as a young man. Again, I grew up in church, and they had all these renowned ministers, evangelists and stuff that would come in and lay hands on me and pray over me and tell me, man, you're going to be a mighty man of God, and man, God's going to use you, and whoop, and man, the anointing is on your life, and blah, blah, blah. They was doing all this stuff, right? And so me and my arrogance, my knowledge, my wisdom, my insight, man, I ain't trying to do that crap. I don't want nothing to do with church. So I'm going to go live my life as though I don't know nothing about the Bible. I'm going to go live my life as though I don't know nothing about God. People are going to look at me and they're like, oh, hell, this motherfucker could never have been in church. He could have never stepped in church. He could have never been prayed over and anointed by God. Because this motherfucker, the way he talk, the way he get down, he don't know nothing about God. Why? Because I didn't want people to see that in me. And so I was doing the most because I didn't want people to see me as this man of God. I was doing the most because I didn't want people to see me like that. And the truth is, I was scared. I was scared that I couldn't live up to that expectation. I was scared that I couldn't be perfect like that. I was scared that I couldn't be righteous like that. I was scared that, man, maybe they got it wrong and God really don't want to use me. And what if I start believing all of this and God is like, man, I ain't trying to use your ass. Sit your ass down somewhere. What if God rejects me? After all these people done prayed over me, after all these people done put their hands on me and anointed me and said that God is anointing me, after all these people have spoken into my lives and said all this stuff, what if God tells me no? What if God tells me that I'm not good enough? And so I hid. I hid having sex. I hid clubbing and drinking and partying. I hid playing cards, spades, beer whiz, bones, all this stupid shit. And it's fun doing that stuff, but I was hiding. I'm out having orgies and all kind of stupid stuff. Why? Because when the people looked at me, I wanted them to see me as something different from what everybody else saw as this great man of God. Because I don't think I could have lived up to those standards. I was scared that I wouldn't live up to those standards. So I was in hiding in plain daylight. I was hiding in plain sight. People saw me, but they didn't see the real me. People heard me talking and partying and doing stupid stuff, but they didn't hear the real me. And so I was hiding. Partying with everybody, but hiding. Turning up with everybody, but hiding. I walked in the club like I owned the club. Walked in the club, got my drink, walked around and picked out what women I wanted to be with that night. I was hiding in plain sight. They saw me, but they didn't see me. They saw the hole in me. They saw the trap in me. They saw the cool me. And so everybody was like, man, Broadway, that fool's crazy. Broadway, that fool, man, he's cool as hell. Broadway, that's who they saw. And that's the persona that I wanted them to see. Years ago, there was a movie that came out called called The Mac. The Mac is the old Pit movie. And that's how I lived my life, believing that I was Goldie. That's the image that I wanted them to see. That's the image I wanted them to know. I didn't want them to see the scared little boy within me. I wanted them to see the cool me. The me with all the women. The me that's throwing back all the drinks. The me that's slamming bones and getting loud. The me that's playing spades and running the table and telling them to get the hell up. That's the image that I wanted them to see. That's the image that I was cool with. That's the image I was comfortable with. But I was in hiding. I was hiding. My late wife was watching Star Wars, and there's a scene where I'm a Star Wars junkie, and there's a scene where Luke Skywalker, I believe it's Return of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker goes and he's training with Yoda, and he has to go into the cave, and that's crucial. That's crucial. Understand this. Luke Skywalker goes into the cave, and he has to go into the cave all alone. He has to go into this dark place all by himself. He has to go into his cocoon all by himself. And so Luke Skywalker goes into this cave, and he has all these questions. He has all this doubt. He has all these fears and all this other stuff. Who am I? Why am I here? What's my purpose? He got all this stuff going through his head. And he goes into this cave, and he has to face his fear. And his fear is seeing Darth Vader. And so he pulls out his lightsaber, and Darth Vader pulls out his. And they're battling out in this cave, in this dark place. And Luke Skywalker chops off Darth Vader's head, and his head falls and hits the ground and rolls right in front of Luke. And Luke is looking at his face, and half of Darth Vader's face is Darth Vader, and the other half is Luke Skywalker. I saw this movie my whole life growing up. I love this movie, but it never registered to me. It never dawned on me. And so my late wife, Cecilia, she was looking at this movie, and she just turned and she looked at me. And I'm like, why are you staring at me? She said, that's you. I said, what are you talking about? She said, I see you. That's you. I said, what are you talking about? What are you tripping? She said, you're Luke Skywalker. Darth Vader's your dad. That's you. Elijah, that's you. Man, I got goosebumps now as I'm thinking about this. That's you. And I'm tripping because how can this woman see me? Nobody's ever seen me. How can she see me? How can she see that little boy within me? And so I'm sitting here and I'm tripping because this woman sees me. I can't hide from her. She sees me. Now she's telling me who I really am. And nobody's ever really told me who I am. And so I'm looking and I'm rewinding it, watching it, rewinding it, watching it, rewinding it, watching it, and it's hitting me. Man, Elijah, you are Darth Vader. You're broken like that. You're messed up like that. You're running from your dad. You changed your name legally. You've done all this stuff. You joined the military to get away from your toxic ass family. You've done all this stuff to run and to hide. Elijah, I don't care how much money you spent in changing your name. I don't care that you joined the Air Force and you got as far away as you could. Elijah, you can't run from your calling. You can't run from who you are. All you can do is hide. And there comes a time where everybody has to pay the price. There comes a time where everybody has to stand there and look at the mirror and see the man in the mirror and see who they are. And then you have to make up a choice. Do you accept it? Or do you act like you've never seen it and go back into hiding? And so I'm sitting there and I'm tripping because I'm looking at this scene of Luke Skywalker looking at Darth Vader's head. And it's half his head and half Luke Skywalker's head. And it's hitting me, man, I have my daddy in me. Nothing I do is going to change the fact that I got my daddy in me. I hated my dad and wanted to kill him. But I got my daddy in me. So there'd be times where Cecilia and I would go putt golf and just do all this crazy stuff. And man, my leg would be hurting. And again, the image, I would never allow people to see me limping in public. I would never be out in public with a sore back because I can't walk the way I want to walk. And so I put a little extra on it to cover up the fact that I was hurt, to cover up the fact that, man, I was really vulnerable at that time because I didn't have the full strength at that time. And so we were out putting golf, and I had the little club with me, and we got the balls, and she's ready, and we're walking, and I'm just walking, I got my little stroll going, and she looks at me, and she just started busting out laughing. And I'm like, what are you laughing at? And she's like, there you go. And I'm like, what? She's like, I see you, Broadway. I see you. And when she said that, all I could do is start laughing. When she said that, I was laughing. Why? Not because what she said was funny. I laughed because I was nervous. I laughed because she saw me. Even though I was trying to masquerade, even though I was wearing a mask, she saw me. She saw the real me. Everybody else sees the image of me. But she saw me. She saw me. And so, only 2 people in my life have ever really seen me. As far as women that I've been with. My queen. Now, she was watching the video and she was drawn to me. She was watching one of my YouTube videos and something grabbed her. It's like, pay attention. Watch this. Listen. And there's this connection there. She couldn't understand, but there's this connection there. There was a connection there. And so, I didn't even know her at the time. But she was watching a video. And the connection was made. And she saw me. She heard me. I spoke to her soul. And so, we're talking. And we've been talking for a minute. And I never really saw her. I never really paid attention to her like that. And so, one day, we're chopping it up. And I look at her. And I saw her. I saw her for who she was. And it was as though our souls connected. Stay with me. I'm talking about why you hiding. It was as though our souls had connected. It was as though our souls had came back together. See, so often we go into hiding, never understanding what we're hiding from. Stay with me. I used to tell people, and I tell people this all the time. When we get hurt, when we get our hearts broken, what we do, we have this natural defense mechanism. And what we do is, man, we build this big castle up around us. And this castle is built out of stone. And it's to keep us from getting hurt. It's to keep us from getting our hearts broken. And so we build this wall around our heart. We built this fortress around our heart to keep us from getting hurt, to keep us from being used and abused again. And so we go into hiding. We're hiding our hearts. But here's the trip with that. Yeah, you're hiding your heart. You're protecting your heart. But as you protect your heart, as you're hiding your heart, you're stopping love from flowing. You can't be you. You can't be loving. You can't receive love. You can't give love because the same wall that is protecting your heart is stopping the love from flowing out of you. Say it again. Let's try to say it a different way. This wall that we build around our heart to keep it from getting hurt, to keep it from getting broke. We can't express love. We can't receive love because that wall that we use as protection is stopping us from giving love. It's stopping us from receiving love. And so what we have to do is we got to go in there and we got to start tearing those bricks down. We got to start tearing those walls down. All those walls that we built up to protect us. All those walls that you built up to protect your little kid, the little kid within you. You were scared of being hurt because you was molested, or you was physically beat, or you were verbally and emotionally beat. And so you built up this wall protecting that little kid. And so now, in order for you to heal, you got to go back in and pull that wall down. You got to go back in and start tearing those walls down. You got to go back in and start kicking those doors open. I'm looking at this ladybug just a second. I don't know if you guys could see that. I had this thing for ladybugs, but and just flew and just landed right there. So I'm gonna put her back. You got to go back in and you got to face all your fears. You got to tear down all those walls because those walls no longer serve you. Those walls no longer help you. Those walls that you built to protect you now enslave you. I'm gonna say it again. When you were a kid, those walls that you built around your heart, those walls you built around your mind and everything else to protect you. Now that you're an adult, those same walls are in place and now they enslave you. They have you locked up and trapped. And so, although you did it as a self-defense mechanism, now you got to go back in and start kicking them down because they're keeping you from reaching your full potential. They served a purpose when they were young, when you were younger and you couldn't handle it. Now you're older. Now you're a little more mature. You're supposed to be a little more mature. You're supposed to be a little more wise. You're supposed to have a little more knowledge. Now you're supposed to go back in and tear down those walls and stop hiding. Stop hiding. Those things can't hurt you no more. I know that's not proper English. Those things can't hurt you anymore. For you intelligent people, what are you hiding from? Why are you still hiding? Why are you still hiding? Years ago, I took Cecilia. She had never been to the amusement parks, right? And so we were in California and I took her to Disneyland. She had never been to Disneyland. And we were sitting there and man, we got on all the rides, just looked at everything and she was just in awe of everything, right? And at the end of the thing, we were getting ready to go. And I was like, hey, you guys see the light show. There's a light show at Disneyland that they do all the time. Fireworks and just a whole bunch of different stuff. I was like, we gotta stay, we gotta see this. You gotta check this out. You gotta check this out. And so we're standing there and she's looking at this light show and she's in amazement. She's blown away by this light show to the point tears are running down her face. 41 years old at the time. First time she had been to Disneyland. And tears are running down her face. This grown woman. Tears are running down her eyes, running down her face. Why? Because for one of the first times in her life, she connected with that little kid within her. She bottled that little kid up. She protected that little kid because she was so terrified of that little girl being hurt. Now, she's safe. Now she knows that, man, I have my protector with me. I'm good. I can be vulnerable. And that doesn't make me weak. I can be transparent. And that doesn't make me a sissy. I can be transparent and open and vulnerable with my wife. I can be vulnerable with my queen. I can be vulnerable with my king. And that's not going to make me look less than. See, if you can't be vulnerable with your queen, and I tell my young lady now, man, I'm completely open with her. I'm completely transparent with her. Why? Because I see her. I see her. We've connected on that level. I'm transparent with her. She's transparent with me. She sees me. She saw me before I was even ready for her to see me. But all that did was let me know that it was safe. She wasn't going to reject me. And see, here's the trip. And I was telling her, I've been in a lot of relationships. And the trip is every relationship that I've been in the past, there's certain aspects of my personality that they didn't like. There were certain aspects of me that they didn't want. And so what they were telling me was I couldn't be completely me. They didn't really accept me for who I was. They wanted this part of me. They wanted the thug part of me. They wanted the godly part of me. They wanted the educated part of me. They wanted the freak part of me. They wanted all these different aspects of who I was, but they didn't want the whole package. And so I was in hiding because I knew that they were rejecting that part of me. And so I was talking to Supernova, and it's like, man, you see me. You see me. And it's like, man, I see you. And man, that's great. You know what I mean? Man, finally. And what am I saying? So often we go into hiding and we go into protection mode because we're scared of being hurt. We're scared of being taken advantage of. And we get to this point, it's like, man, I ain't got another one in me. I ain't got another fucking relationship in me. I ain't got another toxic ass relationship in me. I can't give somebody else another chance. Why? Because they all start out okay. But then something goes wrong. Something happens and it always goes bad. And man, I can't do it no more. I'm cool. I'm done. You know what I mean? And we all get to that point sometimes. And so what else? And honestly, I did. I got to that point. You know, I was at that point. But what I had to realize, it's not about me. What I had to realize is like, man, God, what is your will? Me, I'm scared of getting hurt again. Me, I'm scared of being rejected again. Me, I'm scared of giving my all and not getting shit in return. Me, I'm scared of just investing all this time and not getting anything in return from it. Me, I'm scared of loving somebody and just being completely open to them and them picking and choosing what they wanted and kicking everything else to the curb. And then finally leaving. So I was done. I was cool, man. I'm good. Man, I'll be a monk. You know what I mean? I'll be a monk. Man, I'm about peace. You know what I mean? I'm about peace. I'll be a monk. I'm not trying to get hurt. I'm not trying to do with this bullshit no more. I'm cool. Until my queen came. And I say this a lot. Game recognize game. Real recognize real. Let me say it again. Real recognize real. And so my queen came. She recognized me. She saw me. We was talking. And then I was able to see her. I was scared until I saw her. I'm a grown ass man, 52 years old. But I ain't got another broken relationship in me. You know what I mean? I ain't got no more time to be investing in the wrong people anymore. You know what I mean? I ain't got that time no more. I got more years behind me than I got ahead of me. You know what I mean? So man, I got to make sure I'm right. I got to make sure it's right. I can't keep going back down those same broken roads. You know what I mean? I can't do it. And so I'm scared. I was scared. And so I was hiding. This grown ass man, all yoked up, all tatted up, got all these guns, but I was scared of getting hurt by another woman. Some crazy shit. Some crazy shit when you really think about it. But I had to learn, man, to let it go. To let it go. To let it go. What do you want more? What's more important to you? You see, here's a trip. Whatever's the most important thing to you, that's what you're always going to pursue. I'm going to say it again. And it's in regards to anything, everything. Whatever the most important thing is to you, that is what you're always going to pursue. Always. No ifs, ands, buts about it. You're always going to pursue that which is the most important thing to you. So the question is, why are you hiding? You're hiding because you haven't found the most important thing to you yet. Because once you find the most important thing to you, man, you don't give a damn about that shit. Fuck fear. You know what I mean? You'll face your fears for the real shit. And people say all the time, man, fear, 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 fear. And fear is real. Fear is real. But here's the trip. Fear will either stop you, and I'm going to bring this to a close. Fear will either stop you or make you face it. I'm going to say it again. Fear will either stop you or make you face it. What do I mean? What am I saying? It's documented, well documented, well documented. You can look it up. Fear. A woman seeing a car back up over her kids. Little scrawny women running out because of the fear of losing their kid, the fear of their baby being up under that car. That woman will go out there and pick up that big ass fucking car. A man can't pick that car, but for somehow, some way, this scrawny little woman goes out and picks this car up and gets it up off her baby because of her fear. She faced her fear and she tapped into a power much greater than her fear. People be out hiking. And again, it's documented. Women, dogs, bulldogs, pit bulls coming and attacking little kids. And women, mountain lions, coming and attacking their kids. And women with nothing in their hands but their hands run out because of their fear of losing their kid. Their fear of their kid being killed and mauled by this animal. And this woman runs out there with nothing in her hands and attacks this animal and gets this animal off of her kid. Why? Because her fear of losing her kid was more important than her fear of that animal. She didn't give a damn about the animal. She tapped into a power greater than her fear. And we look at people and we see stories like that. And we say, man, that's a hero. She's a hero. She's a hero. When you look at Marvel movies and you look at all these other things, you know, these people that do great things, these superheroes, we say, man, look at what they do. And we don't understand that we are every one of them. I'll say it again. We're just like them. The only difference is we haven't faced our fear. The only difference is we haven't moved beyond our fear. Every one of us will walk the hero's journey. Every one of us walk the journey of the fool. And so when you look at our lives and you see all the hell that we've gone through, you see our lives and you see all the pain and the trauma and the crap that we walked through, that we endured, the molestations, the rape, the beatings, all the chaos that we went through, the broken hearts, all that madness, and we still come out loving. We still come out passionate. We still come out giving. We still come out wanting to help humanity. Why? We faced it. We faced the fears. We faced our trauma. We faced the drama. We faced all of that madness. And so people look at us and they're like, dang, you're so strong. Dang, you're so courageous. Dang, look at who you are. Man, you're so amazing. Man, you're a chosen one. Man, you're this. Man, you're that. I just faced my fears. I just grew through my fears. It's time for you to face your fears. It's time for you to come out of hiding. To come out of hiding. So many of you, you should have started a business a long time ago, but you were scared. Your family don't support you. Your family don't think anything about you. Your family don't think you're crap. And man, and so you believe that crap. You've accepted that crap. Knowing you should have had your own business. So many of you, you should have your own YouTube channel. So many of you should have had books published. So many of you should have had songs published, poems published, and all this other stuff. But because of your fear, you're sitting there and you're hiding. You're hiding. You can never reach your full potential in hiding. You can never be the phoenix and be all that you're capable of being in hiding. You got to come out of that. You got to stop hiding. You have to stop hiding. And so people, man, why do I do these channels, this channel, and why do I go in the way I go in? Because of my love for humanity. Because I fear dying and not having reached my full potential. Because I don't want to take to the grave all the stuff that I've learned, all the stuff that I've gone through, and not done something with it to help others so that they don't make the mistakes that I've made, so that they don't go through and struggle with the fear and stay hiding like I've done for so long. Why are you hiding? Why are you afraid to share your story? Why are you afraid to tell people your experiences? See, if you're afraid to talk about what you've gone through, you're in hiding. If you're scared to talk about the fact that your daddy beat you, your daddy molested you, your daddy raped you, your daddy did this, and that, your mama did this, and that, your family did this, and that, your cousins did this, if you're afraid to tell your story, you're in hiding. Damn what they think about you, you're in hiding. You're in hiding. You're scared. You're scared. Man, family, you don't realize how liberating it is by facing your fears. You don't realize how liberating it is by sharing your story. You don't realize how liberating it is by talking about what you've gone through and how you've overcome it. You don't realize how empowering it is for others. You don't realize how much others need to hear that. Because it gives them hope that they can make it through. It gives them hope that, man, I thought it was just me. I thought I was going to have to stay like this. But I see that this person grew up in the hood. I see that this person's daddy wasn't shit. I see that this person's mama wasn't shit. I see that this person was on the streets. This person was homeless. This person was dumpster diving. And this person was hungry. And this person was doing whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And this person was doing whoop-de-whoop. Man, that encourages my soul. Why? Because that's where I was at. And if they can come out of that and do something positive and righteous with their life, then so can I. So can I. Tomorrow, I'm going to come on. I'm not sure whether it's going to be 11 or 12 o'clock. And I've been doing lives all this week. You know what I mean? I've been doing lives all this week. And man, it's just, and I have less people watching when I do live videos than I do when I record them. A lot less. But for whatever reason, God has had me doing lives this whole week. So we're going to come on tomorrow, and we're going to talk about the art of letting go. The art of letting go. How to let go of those broken relationships. How to let go of all the crazy shit that we've gone through in the past. How to let it go. Because see, we have all this conversation about, man, we got to let that shit go. We got to let it go. But how do you do that? So tomorrow, we're going to come on. And again, I'm not sure if it's going to be 11 or 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'll let you guys know. But tomorrow, we're going to talk about the art of letting go. I love you guys. Happy healing. Peace.